Hello, my friend. Welcome to our channel, Healing Sleep Stories. Tonight, we drift into a gentle, rainy evening where every drop on the window speaks softly to you, reminding you that you don't have to solve everything tonight. You let yourself arrive in this space, noticing the steady patter of rain as if the world itself is exhaling. The clouds outside hang low and silver, wrapping the streets in a hush that feels protective, not heavy. It is here, beneath the lull of the weather, that your mind begins to loosen its grip. And yes, you probably won't survive this whole meditation awake. Most people don't even make it past the first 10 minutes without slipping off into dreamland. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're here, I'd love for you to share in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is it for you right now? We have friends across the world drifting together in this quiet circle, each of us wrapped in rain's embrace. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The chair or bed you're in seems to cradle you, the cushions reshaping themselves around your weight. The rain taps steadily against glass, each droplet creating its own tiny rhythm, a percussion ensemble from the sky. You notice the coolness in the air, but only at the edges of your skin, where it feels refreshing, like a reminder that you're safe inside. Quietly, you become aware of your breath, the way it moves in and out, not rushed, not strained, a simple rhythm, just like the rain. You breathe in and let it go. The mind tries to stir, thinking about lists, plans, or that awkward conversation you replayed 5 times today. But the sound of rain is louder, fuller, and it takes the stage. Imagine each raindrop washing over those thoughts, smoothing them until they are nothing more than faint ripples. You breathe again, and the chest softens. The shoulders sink. A candle flickers nearby, not too bright, just enough to remind you that you are here, in this small island of calm. The flame bends slightly with the shifting air, steady but alive. It's a quiet companion. As you listen, you realize humans have always used sound to fall asleep. The ancient Romans were said to build fountains near sleeping chambers because the steady flow of water eased their nerves. Historians still argue whether they designed them primarily for beauty or for sleep, a debate that makes you smile now, because either way it worked. And here you are, listening to a modern fountain from the sky. You breathe in and let it go. There's a quirky thought floating in. The Egyptians, clever as ever, sometimes used mixtures of herbs and honey to soothe anxious minds before rest. Honey in particular was thought to carry calming properties, a sweet balm for the nervous system. You imagine some tired soul thousands of years ago sipping a sticky concoction, wishing for the same thing you wish for now, a night free of restless turning. Pause. You almost chuckle at how little has changed. The body continues to sink. Your feet feel heavy, pressing gently into the floor or mattress. The calves relax, as if untangling invisible cords. Your thighs soften, hips spreading slightly with gravity's pull. Every inch of you seems to loosen its grip on the day. You notice the rain again, how it seems to thicken, falling in sheets against the roof. It's almost like applause, except it's not demanding anything from you. It's just sound for sound's sake, asking nothing but you're listening. You breathe in and let it go. For a fleeting moment, you recall how monks in medieval monasteries copied manuscripts by candlelight, often late into the night. Some of those monks wrote about how rainstorms helped them focus, a natural hush falling over the monastery halls. You can imagine the scratch of quills on parchment, the flicker of torches, and the soothing backdrop of rain outside. Historians still argue whether those notes were literal or poetic metaphors, but either way, the thought makes you feel less alone. Others have leaned on storms for comfort too. Your eyelids feel heavier now, though you are still awake. The muscles around your eyes soften, and a sleepy smile drifts across your face. A light joke drifts through. The rain outside could be auditioning for an ASMR channel itself, with its layered textures, gentle taps, rolling drizzles, sudden plunks in a nearby puddle. Nature has been doing this gig long before microphones were invented. The candle is still flickering. The rain is still falling. You breathe in and let it go. The chest loosens further. The belly rises and falls like the tide. The rhythm of your body and the weather seem to merge, one flow, one sway. Whispers, you are safe now. You sense that the night itself is on your side, wrapping you like a blanket. The faint hum of electricity in the walls, the distant echo of a car passing in the wet street, all of it adds up to a lullaby. You don't need to control it. You don't need to fix it. You just rest in it. And if thoughts try to crawl back in about tomorrow, about yesterday, you remember that ancient honey remedy or the Roman fountains, and you smile. People have always needed help letting go. Tonight, the rain is your remedy, and it asks for nothing in return. Your arms feel soft now, hands loosening, fingers uncurling. The neck relaxes, the jaw unclenches. You breathe in and let it go. The rain continues its gentle music, and you continue drifting farther from the busy edges of the day, deeper into the hushed heart of night. The rain steadies, almost as if it knows you've reached that place where your body can finally listen. You feel the breath moving more freely now, the chest rising like a tide that carries no weight, falling again like the tide sliding back into sand. Soft, quietly, you begin to notice every small piece of yourself, each part asking for rest. You start with your feet. They've carried you all day, through doorways and sidewalks, through moments of waiting and hurrying. Now, they ask for nothing more than stillness. The arches soften, the toes uncurl, and your heels sink into the fabric beneath them. You breathe in and let it go. Your calves follow next, untwisting themselves like old ropes finally being set free. The thighs give way, hips loosening, until you feel cradled entirely by the surface below. The whole lower body exhales, as if it too has been holding its breath. Your attention drifts upward. The belly rises and falls, steady as a pendulum. There's no rush, no demand, just rhythm. You notice how good it feels to let the muscles here slacken, how much energy they've been using without you realizing it. Every bit of clenching melts away. Your chest follows. The heart beats gently, steady, calm. You feel the ribs expand and fall, like a quiet accordion sighing through a simple song. You breathe in and let it go. The shoulders, the shoulders, those stubborn keepers of stress. Tonight, they release. You imagine rain sliding off them, washing away the invisible stones you've been carrying. Even the arms surrender now, elbows loose, wrists gentle, palms half open. You drift to the neck, letting it relax like a stalk of grass bending in the rain. The jaw releases. The tongue rests against the bottom of your mouth. The cheeks soften. Your eyes are heavy, but still awake. You feel safe here. The sound of rain continues, like soft applause for each part of your body that learns to rest. You breathe in and let it go. Somewhere in your drifting thoughts, a historical detail stirs. Did you know that in Victorian England, people believed that listening to rain or wind could tune the mind into sleep, much like winding a clock? They even built small contraptions that mimicked rainfall indoors, primitive white noise machines, centuries before you bought a phone app for the same thing. Historians still argue whether those machines were more effective or just fashionable novelties. But the thought of some fancy parlor filled with fake rain noises makes you chuckle in the dark. You remember too that many cultures tied breath to life itself. The Sanskrit word prana literally means both breath and vital energy. To them, breathing wasn't just survival, it was the current of the soul. Tonight, your prana slows, steadies, like a river gliding over smooth stones. A quirky fact floats up. Ancient Greek athletes used to practice measured breathing before competitions, believing it could sharpen both strength and courage. You smile at the idea. You, lying here in stillness, practicing the same ancient technique, but instead of preparing to wrestle in an arena, you're preparing to wrestle with a pillow and dreams. You breathe in and let it go. The rain outside grows softer for a moment, as if to match your own slowing. The sound patters gently, then swells again, like waves brushing and pulling. Every shift in its rhythm seems perfectly timed with your body's letting go. The mind may try to stir again, a fragment of worry, a flash of something undone. But each time, you breathe and the thought washes away. Imagine anxiety as ink dropped into water, dispersing until the whole glass clears again. You breathe in and let it go. Now your head feels heavier, resting more deeply, like a stone finally placed in its perfect spot. The scalp tingles lightly, then relaxes. The face is smooth, almost smiling in its stillness. You drift on the rain, carried by it. The sound outside is no longer separate from you. It feels like part of your own breathing, part of your own slowing. Pause. And as the body softens, you remember that even emperors struggled with sleep. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, wrote in his journals about nights where his mind would not hush. He coached himself through those hours with gentle reminders that tomorrow's troubles belonged to tomorrow. Historians still argue whether those journals were private therapy or intended for public teaching. But for you, his words tonight feel like whispered advice. Let go. Sleep belongs to you. You breathe in and let it go. The rain grows steadier again. The world outside dissolves, and the world inside softens. You are carried downward, gently, deeply, into a place where nothing has to be done. Everything is calm tonight. The rain doesn't stop it, only changes its music. Sometimes it rushes, sometimes it scatters lightly, but always it carries you with it. Your body is soft now, surrendered, and your mind begins to wander like a slow river searching for stories along its banks. Quietly, you let a memory rise. Perhaps it's something small, like walking under an umbrella when you were younger, the rain dripping in lines from the fabric's edges. You remember the damp smell of the street, the way your shoes splashed in puddles. The thought isn't heavy, it's soft, playful, safe. Your mind shifts again, recalling that humans have always found comfort in sound. Did you know that in the late 19th century, Thomas Edison built sleep phonographs that played gentle lullabies through brass horns? Historians still argue whether those devices actually soothed people or were more of a clever marketing stunt. But the fact remains, people were trying even then to make sleep a little easier. You smile in the dark, realizing that the search for calm is older than all of us. You breathe in and let it go. The rain grows heavier, like drumming fingers on a wooden desk, and with it, a quirkier thought slips in. The Vikings believed that dreams during storms were messages from the gods, carried on thunder and rain. Imagine lying in a creaking longhouse, the fire barely glowing, rain pounding above you. To them, every dream was a message. You almost laugh now, picturing a Viking waking up from a strange dream of goats wearing helmets, convinced Odin had sent a vision. History is filled with these little oddities, strange comforts we've used to explain the chaos of sleep. Your breath continues, steady, softer, slow. You breathe in and let it go. The mind wanders through another path, libraries. In the great library of Alexandria, it's said they collected not only scrolls of philosophy and science, but also poems meant to calm restless minds. Historians still argue whether those scrolls were used for study, ritual, or just bedtime musings. But the idea of falling asleep with ancient poetry on your nightstand feels strangely timeless. You picture yourself curled in a quiet corner of that grand library, the rain falling just beyond marble walls, scholars drifting off mid-scroll. The sound of rain pulls you back to now. You listen, noticing that it is not one sound, but many: the hiss of drizzle, the tap of drops, the hollow knock of water on metal. Nature's orchestra is layered, and your mind learns to float between those layers, like a listener choosing which instrument to follow. Whispers, you are safe now, and the memories keep weaving. You think of rain on a school day, maybe when you pressed your forehead to a bus window, tracing patterns in the condensation. Or perhaps the first time you kissed someone in the rain, that cinematic cliché that turns out to be both wetter and colder than the movies suggest. A sleepy chuckle escapes you. Even soaked, those moments remain golden. Quietly, you drift deeper, and your mind plays with the thought that stories themselves are lullabies. The Brothers Grimm once collected fairy tales that mothers whispered to children at night. Stories meant less for fear and more for soothing repetition. Historians still argue whether those tales were originally warnings, teaching lessons, or simply bedtime comforts. But what you know tonight is simple. Stories carry you just like the rain. You breathe in and let it go. The rain calms again, like pages turning slowly. Your body is almost gone to sleep, but your mind lingers in this pleasant twilight, half dreaming. You smile at a quirky image in the 1922nd. Inventors sewed sleep masks filled with tiny radios, so you could listen to calming broadcasts while lying in bed. Imagine falling asleep with headphones strapped like a crown, wires running across the pillow, technology chasing sleep just as we do now. It's almost funny how human it is to build machines for the most natural thing we already know how to do. You drift deeper still. You breathe in and let it go. The rain taps steadily, and you remember again that every culture has tried to soften night. Candles, oils, chants, songs, rituals, all to hush the mind. And here you are, repeating that ancient act, letting yourself wander through memory and history carried gently by sound. The world outside is blurred. The world inside is calm. The rain keeps speaking its language, and you keep listening until the line between memory and dream begins to fade. Everything you listen, and the rain teaches you its simple lesson. It arrives, it falls, and it fades. Your worries can follow the same path if you let them. Imagine your thoughts as small slips of paper. Each one carries a sentence that once felt urgent. You set them on a little paper boat and nudge it toward the gutter stream. The current catches and carries them along. They bob, they turn, and then they melt. You watch them blur into pale threads of pulp, and you feel lighter. The mind tries one more pattern. What if, what if, what if? It loops like a song stuck on a single bar. You decide to change the song by changing the breath. Quietly, you count in to 4 and out to 6. The longer exhale tells your body that the night is safe. Your nervous system listens, like a cat finally settling into a lap. You breathe in and let it go. Your jaw softens at the corners. The tongue rests gently, a warm leaf on quiet water. Sometimes, anxiety pretends to be a helpful coach. It waves clipboards and whistles, always shouting last-minute plays. You thank it for caring, and you send it to the bench. Out the window, the street light glows through rain like a halo. Drops streak the glass and cross like faint constellations. You trace them with your eyes and feel them rinse away noise. You remember that people have been naming and releasing worries for ages. In ancient Greece, smooth worry stones were rubbed for calm. Historians still argue whether those stones began as sacred objects or simple seaside souvenirs. A gentler memory rises, the Guatemalan muñeca quitapena, the worry doll. You whisper troubles to the little figure and tuck it under your pillow. By morning, the doll carries them away, quirky, sweet, somehow effective. You picture a tiny row of dolls on your windowsill tonight. They listen like patient librarians, collecting noisy thoughts and shelving them in quiet stacks. You breathe in and let it go. The rain thickens for a moment and drums on a metal awning. Nature is doing percussion practice without asking for applause. You smile because Free front row tickets are your favorite prize. You feel a small rise of worry in the belly. So you place a hand there, warm and kind. You tell that part of you, I see you, and thank you for trying. A steadying fact drifts in with a breath. In the early 20th century, physician Edmund Jacobson described progressive muscle relaxation. He showed that releasing small groups of muscles one by one can calm the whole system. You already began that release earlier. Now you revisit it like a slow tour at night. Ankles soften, knees ease, hips loosen their quiet hinge. Shoulders drift down like wet branches unburdened by rain. The throat opens and feels cool and clear. You breathe in and let it go. Your mind tosses a last-minute headline across your inner screen. You nod at it, then let the rain scroll it away. Breaking news. You are not required to read everything tonight. You remember the honey from earlier, the Egyptian evening soothe. That sticky sweetness was a steadying ritual for anxious hearts. Tonight your ritual is simpler. Listen, breathe, soften, and allow. A light joke floats over the bed like a paper airplane. Your brain loves late-night emergencies. It's on call with a beeper from the 90s. Luckily, the only emergency now is a severe shortage of pillows under your head. You shift 1 inch and settle deeper. The mattress holds you like a tide pool holds the moon. Each muscle becomes shoreline, smooth and effortless. On the glass, a rivulet gathers other drops and grows. It becomes a small river, a temporary Nile, traveling toward the sill. You follow it with your eyes, and your thoughts follow it out. You breathe in and let it go. There is nothing clever to do. There is only the quiet practice of softening. Your mind raises a practical question about tomorrow's tasks. You whisper, tomorrow will get its own sky. Rain is a good archivist. It files today in a gentle cabinet. A mainstream glimmer arrives, steady and calm. Zen monks have sat with breath for centuries, watching thoughts drift like clouds. Historians still argue whether certain early practices were meant for enlightenment or simple everyday ease. Either way, your cloud is passing. It turns thin and silver and pulls apart. You breathe in and let it go. Quietly, you bring attention to your hands. They've held so much, some of it heavier than you admit. Tonight, they simply rest, palms open, ready to receive nothing at all. A playful image wanders in, soft and warm. You picture your anxieties as rubber ducks in a rain barrel. They squeak once, then float away in dignified chat. The candle flickers again, then steadies. Its golden center is calm, even while it dances. You recall the Roman fountains from earlier. Engineers by daylight, sleep artists by night. Their courtyards taught water to sing the same song the rain sings now. You let your breath match that steady music. In for 4, out for 6, and sometimes out for 8. Long exhale, long release, long surrender. You breathe in and let it go. Your eyelids grow heavier, shores of velvet closing slowly. Vision surrenders to sound, and sound things to feeling. The mind tries a familiar trick, offering a highlight reel of missteps. You nod like a kinder editor and say, "Not tonight, sweet montage." The episode is scheduled for never. a cozy historical oddity pads in with soft slippers. In the 18th century, Benjamin Franklin played the glass harmonica, a water-tuned instrument. Some believed its tones soothed nerves. Others feared it unsettled them. Historians still argue whether the instrument calmed or agitated listeners. Either way, the rain is your harmonica now. It keeps a pure, patient home that leans you towards sleep. It sings to the edges of your mind until the edges round and blur. You bring your attention to the back of your heart. Between the shoulder blades there is a small, quiet space. You imagine that space opening like a window and the rain washing through. You breathe in and let it go. What needed to cling simply loosens. What needed to leave finds the door. A gentle sarcasm passes like a cloud with a smirk. If anxiety had a customer support line, the hold music would play forever. Tonight, you hang up and let the rain play you something better. You return to the belly just to check. It rises, it falls, it forgives. You rest your attention there and feel safe. You are safe now. The breath smooths again. No sharp corners, no sudden turns. A memory of school chalk appears, clean and bright. You write a worry on the sidewalk of your mind. Rain brushes over the letters until they fade into soft grey. You breathe in and let it go. The sidewalk shines, wordless and new. You walk across it without leaving a mark. A final trio of gentle jokes arrives to keep things human. Your thoughts are like raccoons at night, curious, persistent, very into rummaging. You turn off the mental trash can and the little bandits amble away, tails waving like tiny flag. Then a classic. You promise your mind a meeting tomorrow with coffee and a clipboard. It accepts the calendar invite and stops whispering through the door. You're proud of your executive function and your excellent boundary setting skills. And of course, there is the weather report, chance of worry, low with scattered yawns after midnight. An expanding front of coziness moves in from the west. The air feels cooler near your cheek and warmer under the blanket. You settle more deeply into that cozy front. You remember the monks by candlelight. You imagine them setting down quills as thunder rolls far away. Even their careful letters must sleep. Your legs feel heavy and kind. Your shoulders are quiet hills under a gentle sky. Your face is peace itself. You breathe in and let it go. If a thought returns, it returns like a polite guest. You offer it tea, then show it the porch and the lovely rain. A tender curiosity opens in you. What if you do not need to fix anything tonight? What if softness is the exact solution? A mainstream thread drifts by like low fog. The word anxiety comes from an old root meaning narrowing or constriction. Tonight you practice widening space in the chest, space in the mind, space in the room. You widen with a long, warm exhale. You widen with the softest attention possible. You widen until rain is everywhere and you are perfectly small and held. You breathe in and let it go. Your body remembers this map now. It can return to it whenever the road grows busy. If the mind asks for proof, you give it a fact and a feeling. The fact: muscles teach nerves by relaxing first. The feeling: relief arriving like a quiet friend with a blanket. blanket higher, your toes warm, your shoulders sink, your heart keeps time with the weather. One more image for the shelf before sleep. You stand under a canopy while rain threads down in silver strings. Each string carries a worry and turns it into music as it falls. You breathe in and let it go. The canopy holds. The music continues even as you stop listening. You recall the Library of Alexandria again. Those imagined bedtime scrolls. Somewhere, a scholar dozes over a poem about rivers. The candle gutters, the night takes the text, and the dream continues the line. The rain thins to a hush against the glass. It becomes a whispering brush, a soft painter cleaning a quiet canvas. Your mind becomes a field washed by gentle weather, open and calm. You feel the hint of the next descent. It gathers at the edges of your awareness like dusk. You trust it because trust is the simplest door. You breathe in and let it go. Very little remains to be done. Even very little is already too much. The candle has not gone out. It does not need to. Its tiny sun softens, and so do you. A final quirky detail settles by your pillow, small and sweet. In some places, people leave bowls to catch night rain for luck. Historians still argue whether the practice began for ritual or for watering plants before dawn. Either way, you have gathered enough luck for tonight. Your bowl is the whole room, and it is full. Your breath is the surface, undisturbed and shining. Everything is calm tonight. Softly, the rain thins to a silver hush. Your breath matches it without trying. You feel the bed carry you like a small boat at dusk. The edges of the room blur. Shadows soften their lines, and your thoughts drift slower. You are moving down a gentle slope that only sleep can shape. You sense tiny sounds beyond the rain. A far elevator sighs, a pipe clicks, a neighbor laughs once. All of it arrives muted, like memories under a warm quilt. Your jaw is slack, not sloppy, just soft. Your tongue rests, a calm leaf on a still pond. Your eyes float behind their lids and see a mild, dark blue. Quietly, you let the breath lengthen again. In for 4, out for 6, maybe out for 8. The long exhale tells the nervous system, we are safe. You breathe in and let it go. You remember the old fountains, the honey, the monks with quills. You remember the paper boats of Section 4 sailing the gutter stream. Those little boats have reached the ocean now, and you feel the tide. In the 1950s, researchers saw rapid eye movement in sleepers. Eugene Aserinsky watched those darting eyes and linked them with dreams. Sleep science changed after that moment. Laboratories filled with wires and quiet and hope for better rest. Historians still argue whether that first night proved dreams for sure. Your breath slides deeper and your shoulders sink another inch. Gravity feels like kindness, not a rule. The mattress receives you like a harbor receives evening boats. You breathe in and let it go. A quirky tidbit pads in wearing cozy socks. In medieval Europe, people stitched dream pillows with hops and lavender. They swore the scent could hush midnight, fretting and sweeten the mind. You imagine one waiting under your head right now. Its seams are neat, its herbs are dry, Its promise is simple. Historians still argue whether the magic was aroma or tender ritual. Out the window, the street gleams like a ribbon. Rain plucks it, note by note, and the city hums in tune. Your body hears music in everything, and everything slows for you. You smile at a small, sleepy joke. If dreams had a doorbell, tonight you will let it ring twice. You are not rushing to answer. You are already inside. Your hands are warm now, palms open, fingers quietly curved, wrists heavy with ease. It feels like your hands are listening to rain too. Gently, you scan your body one last time. No inspection, just a friendly wave. Ankles, knees, hips, belly, chest, throat, face, all content. You breathe in and let it go. A second mainstream threat glimmers and fades. Long before alarm clocks, people rose with water and light. Ancient clepsydras tipped and chimed, marking time with a liquid hand. You let the idea trickle away like a measured drop. The only clock you keep tonight is breath and rain. Both are steady, both are kind, both forgive the hours. Your thoughts bring a soft encore of humor. Anxiety emails you after midnight with the subject line, urgent. You mark it unread, archive it, and reward yourself with more blanket. You remember the glass harmonica from earlier, thin tones spun from wet crystal, soothing and strange. Your rain is a bigger instrument with endless notes and no effort. You feel yourself tilt into the slope below waking. The mind loosens its lost knots and tucks them in a drawer. Even the drawer is padded with felt and sleepy goodwill. You breathe in and let it go. A fringe curiosity wanders by like a gentle cat. In Japan, rain chains Kusaridoi guide water down in shining links. Some say their soft chimes calm the house as storms pass. Historians still argue whether the first chains were art or necessity. Either way, the music of falling water learned a kind language. It speaks that language tonight, and your body understands every word. Your breath grows quiet enough to blend with memory. You see the candle again, a small sun with velvet edges. It does not burn out, it simply lowers the day. You feel the slow weight of sleep approach. It is not a trap, it is not a test. It is a friend with a coat ready to drape you. Quietly, a last fact glides into place. Jean-Jacques de Mairan watched a plant open and close without daylight. He guessed a hidden clock was ticking inside living things. Centuries later, we name that rhythm and praise the wisdom. Circadian ties rise and fall while you do almost nothing at all. You ride them now, and they carry you past the reef of thought. You breathe in and let it go. A fresh little joke knocks once, very polite. If your brain were a theatre, it has dimmed the lobby lights. The popcorn machine is off, but somehow the room smells buttery. You drift through that imagined lobby and find your favorite seat. The screen is rain with subtitles only you can read. The first line says, "You did enough today, you can rest." The next line says nothing, and that is the point. Silence is a generous storyteller when you let it speak. You let it speak until you cannot tell it from sleep. You breathe in and let it go. A final quirky pebble rolls across the mind. Some sailors used to swear by storm sleep, deep and heavy. They rested best when the sea and sky were loudest together. Historians still argue whether that was toughness or simple exhaustion. You borrow the legend anyway and call it your own tonight. Your storm is gentle and your sleep is steady as a hull. You feel your face pause in soft surprise. This much calm can exist without permission or paperwork. No signature needed, no stamp required. You are cleared for rest. Your chest expands like a small sail in a safe cove. The exhale folds the canvas, sweet and unhurried. Even the ropes loosen, easy in their knots. You breathe in and let it go. Tiny glimmers flicker behind your eyelids, friendly and slow. They look like the city seen through a rainy car window. They look like old photographs held under warm tap water. One more smile rises, then drifts. Your mind suggests a late checklist, then forgets what was on it. You thank it for the effort and give it the night off. The rain thins, then gathers, then thins again. It is breathing too, in its weather way. You take the hint and let your breath match the sky. You breathe in and let it go. You are safe now. You picture your worried dolls dozing on the sill. They finished their shift and clocked out with tiny nod. They dream of blank calendars and slow mornings. A final callback curls up by the candle. Remember the raccoons from earlier? Those curious midnight rummagers. They found a picnic elsewhere and left your bins in peace. You feel a soft wave pass down your legs. Bones floating velvet. Muscles rest like folded maps. Even your feet smile, which seems unlikely and somehow true. Quietly, you let gratitude appear without fireworks. Thank you for this roof, this blanket, this small hour. Thank you for rain that cares for the earth while you sleep. You breathe in and let it go. There is nothing more to arrange. No sentence needs finishing. No scene needs reshoot. You keep the bloopers and call it charm. Down you go, and the slope is kind. Dreams will find you, not the other way around. All you do is agree, and even that happens by itself. You breathe in and let it go. Everything is calm tonight. The rain softens to a faraway hush, like a lullaby sung from another room, and your breath follows in long, even waves, warm beneath the blanket, easy as the tide. You feel your body suspended in a gentle field, as if clouds have gathered under you, as if the mattress is a sky that knows only kindness. Thoughts slow to single words, and then to colors, and then to a simple, tender quiet that holds. Your face is smooth, your jaw light, your shoulders pleasantly heavy. The room is safe, the hour is simple, and the weather keeps watch at the window, not asking, not needing, only offering its soft and steady rhythm. You breathe in and let it go. Now the candle in your mind lowers to an ember, not gone, just resting, like a small sun that understands the art of night. The last sounds turn to velvet, the last edges turn to mist. The world becomes a shoreline that recedes with grace, and you float in a calm bay without fences or fear. If a thought rises, it arrives like a harmless ripple, spreads once and dissolves. If a memory calls, it calls from a distance and fades as kindly as it came. Your breath continues, quiet and sure, and with each exhale, you step another pace into the softest room you know, the room where sleep begins by itself and continues by itself. The rain is a friend at the door, placing a coat around your shoulders, tucking the blankets, checking the latch, turning off the light. In this friendly darkness, warmth gathers at your center and spreads outward, down your arms, down your legs, up through your throat and cheeks, until everything that needed soothing is soothed, and everything that needed silence is lovingly hushed. You are safe now. Everything is calm tonight.